Meeting called to order. This is the October 8th, 2024 Borough of Oakland Council meeting. Would the clerk please read the statement of compliance?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless a majority of the council members that are present vote to extend the time.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Calamini, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Proceed. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Griffito? Here. Mr. Mayor, Councilman McCann, Pignatelli, and Slazinski will be absent from tonight's meeting. Council President Saliani?
Here.
Councilman Talamini?
Here.
Mayor Kamala?
Present.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman McCann, Talamini, and Pignatelli. Excuse me, McCann, Pignatelli, and Slazinski.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we have a special presentation today, a celebration for the 14U baseball team. At this time, I'd like to bring Coach Chris Perez forward. I'd also like to bring Coach Mike Ciliento and Councilman Talamini up to the front. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you. That's yours. That's yours. So what I'd like to do is, at this time, I'd like Coach Perez to talk a little bit about the team and the achievement that they've, gotten to, and hand out the awards on behalf of your team.
Awesome, very good. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Really excited to be here. This team, I took over the management of this team about 3 years ago. They've had a lot of success over the years, just a tremendous amount of success from these boys. And I was telling the mayor that this is the first time that we've been invited to celebrate this success and be honored. So thank you very much for everyone for allowing us to come and do this. I think that our team this year showed a lot of cool things. In the beginning, we had a lot of challenges, for example, where we've got basketball, we've got football, we've got club baseball, all these different things going on at the same time. And baseball here for Oakland was still a priority for everybody, whether it was the players, whether it was the families. Literally everyone made sure that we showed up and we gave our best effort no matter what. There were some games where people couldn't make it, somebody else stepped up. Some games somebody got injured, someone else stepped up. And no matter what the situation was, no matter how big the challenge was, these boys stepped up and they played hard and they won and they did just an amazing job. Just so proud of them. And I also want to thank the parents. I think our team is also a great example of just Oakland in general. So, when everyone comes together, when we focus on the right things, when we put our egos aside, when we support everyone and come together, it just makes such a big difference. And without the parents, without you guys showing up every single time, without you guys getting the boys, even though you had all these different conflicts, it just would have never happened, would have never come together. So thank you very much. Truly the best of Oakland, and shows that when we stick together, focus on the right things, support our kids, that we're true winners. So thank you. Coach Mike, you have anything to say? Awesome. All right, so should I give these out?
Start giving out. We can get everybody lined up right in the front over here so we can take a group picture.
All right, very good. All right, our center fielder, Evan Ciliento. First base, second base, James Adkins. Second base, outfield, Jackson Choppy. Catcher, first baseman, Dylan Zanero.
Big deal.
First base, catcher, J.D. Ferrari.
JD.
Third base, outfield, and our emergency shortstop, Chase Hurley.
Chase.
Pitcher, and I'll just leave it at that. Our pitcher and our outfielder and our shortstop, Antonio. Congratulations.
Greg.
Pitcher, shortstop, Luke Petrowski.
Propane.
Third baseman, outfielder, Ryan Press. Catcher, first baseman, pitcher, third base, whatever it takes, Joe Talmy. Congratulations.
Good job.
And our MVP for 2 seasons in a row, pitcher, Cole Seven.
Hey, Coach, I just want to say thank you for the coaches and everything that you did. I mean, everybody sitting on this dais, members of the council, we've all been coaches at some point within the rec program. And especially for the parents, thank you. It's really you that support these children as we're coming up through the ranks. And you guys really are the soul of this town that keeps it together. So thank you to all the parents and everybody else.
Let me just say, my goodness, I love these kids. I mean, since 8U, they're amazing. Every single one of them. You know, it's sad, but what a great group of kids. I had so much fun coaching them, and thank you to Chris and Mike stepping up when we called it quits. It was just a lot of fun coaching them. They're a great bunch of kids. Off the field, never mind between the lines. They're just a wonderful group of kids, and because of their wonderful parents, I love you guys too. This is Oakland right here. This is why I love this place. Thank you guys.
Very good.
All right, guys, let's get you guys to move right down all the way over here. Stop. Perfect. Squish down, squish down, squish down.
Should I go to this side? Just take a picture.
Jody, can see it?
I'm on my signature.
Good job, guys. All right, we can take a 2-minute recess. You're certainly welcome to stay if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll take a 2-minute recess, and you guys can go on your way. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, we're up to the mayor's report. All right, so I got several things to cover here. First of all, the tennis courts. I don't know if many people have seen it. The blue acrylic surface is currently being applied to the tennis courts. We expect them to be done in about a week with the fences up, and the courts will be open back to the general public, weather permitting. So stay tuned for that. Franklin Avenue, the paving and striping has been completed on Franklin Ave. Bush Plaza, the pin clock has been installed at Bush Plaza at the corner of 202 on West Oakland Ave.
And just so everybody knows, that telephone pole that's in the way of the pin clock will be coming out once the decorative lighting goes in. We're just waiting for the decorative lighting to go into the park. Once those go in, that telephone pole and that light will come out, opening up that entire space. Patriots Way Bridge update. The shell of the bridge is now complete. That includes spans 1, 2, and 3. So even though it may look like that we're actually making very good progress on the bridge, and it's starting to look like a bridge at this point. Moving forward, we're going to be working, or the contractors will be working on moving the water main, and the gas line will be installed in the next 2 weeks. After that, it'll be stringers and decking, and there's still a lot of work to be done. The fire department, we had our open house yesterday, celebrating the poster contest for all the elementary schools, and they had a smokehouse, a fire simulator, and of course showcasing all of Oakland's emergency services, including police, EMS, and fire department. And also, there's an announcement I want to make also is there is currently an application in front of the planning board for a McDonald's that's going to be hopefully coming into town. It'll be located on West Oakland Avenue, behind the City MD and the Walgreens in that space in the back. So if anybody's interested in listening to the application, it'll be this Monday, October 10th at 7 p.m. down at the Senior Center for anybody that's interested. And that concludes my report. Right now, moving on to, do we have a motion to open to public?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to address the council?
I do, thank you. Joseph Furio, 24 Hiawatha Boulevard. I want to give you a little bit of an update of what's been happening with the RML situation since last time. Unfortunately, I do not have good news to relay. I was at a meeting 2 Saturdays ago with the RML board and a potential purchaser of Mirror Lake. Unfortunately, they were using the TNC word, which doesn't mean terms and conditions. It's townhouses and condos. They are talking about filling in a portion of the lake, and the developer is talking about townhouses and condos. At least his real estate agent who was there with him was talking about townhouses and condos. As you probably know, that is not in a zone that would allow for townhouses and condos, and I'll leave it to your imagination to figure out how a developer is going to force townhouses and condos in the area. Mirror Lake residents all who showed up, we had probably close to 50%, if not more than 50% of the homeowners represented at the meeting. They were told what the costs were. Nobody really balked at what the costs were going to be. RML asked us to fill out a form saying that, yeah, we agree to the costs, and we got the form. A lot of our the other residents at Mirror Lake started expressing concerns that the language that was used on the form, it just had language that made it seem that there was no other funding available other than the residents of Mirror Lake paying for the lake, and it sounded like they wanted us to commit to that funding. Where that didn't make sense to us because future boards have other ways of raising funds. They could raise funds from various sources, could be nonprofit sources, could be from other homeowners in RML who are not on the lake. And as such, I could not gather the signatures needed to stop them from moving forward with this developer. My understanding at this point in time, the developer is starting the application process with the New Jersey DEP to find out whether or not he can build these homes, condos, townhouses, whatever it may be, on to Mirror Lake, including filling up a portion of the lake. He mentioned 40 feet into the lake at that meeting. I'm kind of familiar with the zoning requirements in there. How big of a house are you going to fit with the zoning requirements in Oakland by filling in 40 feet? That lake right now maybe stretches 25 feet from the sidewalk to the edge of the lake. I don't think it's going to be 40 feet if this guy tries to move forward. What I would like to say, and hopefully everybody at home who's listening to this, please write to the DEP. Please engage with the DEP and tell them that you do not want this development coming to the lake, and we do not want any land going onto the lake. And I know that there's a little turnout here, so I'm going to go through the same thing that I did the first time I was here. This is a picture of my backyard. This over here is a blue heron. And I will leave you with this photo. This is a picture from my front yard. The blue herons don't run away from me when I'm inside my house, but they do when I try to approach it at the lake to get a photo. There are blue herons on this lake. New Jersey has some of the strongest laws from the DEP to protect the blue herons. And again, I'm not a zoologist, but this is a picture from the Audubon Society of what a blue heron looks like. It's the same animal. This is what we have, living and feeding on the fish in our lake. They need to be protected. You know, to a certain extent, I don't trust what happens a lot of time when development happens. I see it all the time that things that should be environmentally protected are not, and somehow a development gets jammed down everybody's throats. None of the residents around Mirror Lake want this development to go in. We even had somebody who was not a resident of Mirror Lake who showed up. They were a resident who lives across the street. They didn't want it. And I'm sure the residents, even though they may want out of RML, I'm sure that a lot of the residents who live in that area, who have to drive up and down Seminole to get their kids to and from Heights Elementary every day, probably do not want to see townhouses and condos with the amount of additional cars that it's going to cause on that street. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. That's what's going on. The best hope that we have is the DEP says nothing can be built there. The indications from the Board of RML, if that happens, there probably isn't any other use for Mirror Lake, and we go right back into a situation where we were a few weeks ago, where we can do some sort of orderly transfer of the lake. So that's my report on what's going on, and I will stay to the end and provide you any other information should you need it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? Dave Richardson, 320 Ramble Valley Road. I had brought this subject up a while back, and the other day I happened to be working on my phone, and I saw the 12 News about a boy riding an electric bike in Patterson was killed. Him and his buddy were riding this thing. They ran into the side of a truck or a vehicle that was coming out of a driveway or coming out of a side street. The guy in the vehicle never saw this guy coming. He ran to the side of this guy's car, and one kid was killed. Right? Now that almost happened to me a couple days ago coming out of my driveway right over here. I get down, I look, I go, and here comes this guy flying up the sidewalk. He must have been doing 40 miles an hour with this thing. When is the town gonna outlaw these things on sidewalks? I see him in the middle of town flying. Somebody's gonna come walking out of a store and get killed. Federal law says they can't do more than 20 miles an hour. They got right online here to show you how to get 50 miles an hour out of these things. It's ridiculous. Why doesn't the police upheld the law because they can't do more than 20 miles an hour with these things? And they shouldn't be on a sidewalk, because sidewalk, not side ride, sidewalk. It's for walking. If they want to ride these bikes, put them on the road, make them licensed, and wear helmets, just like a gasoline powered. It's got a motor on it. It's motorized. Somebody's going to get hurt, or somebody's going to get killed, just like in Patterson the other day. So I think that's all I got to say, and something should be done.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
You know, it's getting ridiculous the way stuff is getting passed by, and nobody's getting stopped. You know, the police have to do something.
Well, I'll bring it to the attention of the chief.
I know the chief. He doesn't. You know, he says there's nothing wrong with it. I think you had mentioned it to me,
Yeah.
but it's
Okay.
bad.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, I almost hit this kid, or he almost hit me. Actually, he was flying. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening, John Palladino, 89 Long Hill Road. Just wondering if there would be sides and curbs on Long Hill, because when there's heavy rain, that rain goes onto that sidewalk side and starts to erode the whatever material. It's usually asphalt walkways, and you know, my kids walking up and down. There's a lot of kids walk. There's not Martha, the other street across from Martha. There's a lot of kids in that block that go up and down. My kids go up and down with bikes. I tell them to walk down until they get to Rampo before they ride the bikes. It's dangerous, and I just want to know if that's happening, since it's happening all over town, curbs and sidewalks.
I'll let you know it's a county road, unfortunately, but we can certainly get back to you on that.
And one other thing, how many pickleball courts are we
4.
getting now? Nice.
Right, so we lost one tennis court for pickleball courts.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Have a great night, guys.
Not seeing any. Motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have approval of minutes September 24th, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Gafredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, now we have September 24th, 2024 executive minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Gafredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Special announcements. We have a proclamation. Proclamation is for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October 24, 2024. Whereas too many individuals and families in the Borough of Oakland and across our nation have experienced the profound loss of a mother, a sister, a daughter, a wife, or a loved one to breast cancer. And whereas during National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we honor the memories of those we have lost to this devastating disease and extend our support to survivors, caregivers, families, and all women who continue to fight breast cancer. And whereas breast cancer remains one of the most prevalent cancers in the United States, with hundreds of thousands of new diagnoses every year, and more than 4 million survivors living in America today. And whereas significant advancements have been made in the prevention, detection, and treatment of breast cancer, yet many patients and their families still face complex medical decisions and financial burdens, underscoring the need for continued medical research and support services. And whereas it's essential to increase access to affordable and accessible healthcare services, including early screening and diagnostic services like mammograms, which are critical in detecting breast cancer early and improving survival rates. And whereas the Borough of Oakland recognizes the vital role of medical professionals, researchers, and community health organizations in the fight against breast cancer, and express gratitude for their tireless work and dedication. And whereas during the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Borough of Oakland joins the nation in raising awareness about breast cancer, encouraging women to seek early detection, and advocating for further resources and support for all those affected by the disease. Now therefore, I, Eric Kamala, Mayor of the Borough of Oakland, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the Borough of Oakland. I call upon all citizens and government agencies, private businesses, healthcare providers, and community organizations to participate in activities and initiatives that will increase awareness, provide support, and honor the memories of those we have lost as we continue working together toward the future free from breast cancer. In witness thereof, I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the Borough of Oakland to be affixed on this 8th day of October 2024. Eric Kamala, Mayor, Borough of Oakland. All right, this time I have an appointment for the Arts Committee. This is a mayoral appointment with council consent. I'm here appointing Mary Louise Wozniak. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have the following resolutions.
Need a second.
Oh, you- Second?
We did it.
Okay. Jody seconded.
Okay. We have the following resolutions. 24-288, authorized request for qualifications. 24-289, authorized appraisals for flood buyout program. 24-290, authorized contract for affordable housing planning services. 24-291, authorized tax refund. 24-292, authorized tax refund. 24-293, authorized tax refund, exempt veteran. 24-294, authorized refund for Alexander Delatorre, intro to accounting course. And 24-295, authorized recreation refunds.
Could we just pull 289?
289? Which one? 289? Okay,
I'll go pull that too.
289. Except for 289, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Okay, Councilwoman Gafredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Okay, 289, Mr.
You want to go
Saliani.
first, Russ?
Could we just go over this a little bit? I just want to, I mean, how many pieces of property is it? What, and then just go over why we're doing it again.
Sure. So this encompasses 9 parcels, 9 properties on Lenape and Lakeshore Drive. Those were the subject of our 4th round grant application to Bergen County. And given the pandemic and the run-up in home prices and Green Acres changing their appraisal standards along the way, from Green Acres to more aligning with Blue Acres, apparently there's some differences there. They wanted to see new appraisals done in order to be able to determine what Green Acres calls the CMV, the Certified Market Value, that establishes the amount that Green Acres will pay up to for a buyout.
And just confirm, we were doing 4 phases of this project. These market values are only for the last phase?
These are only for phase 4. Essentially, the first 3 phases are done in terms of acquisition. There may be one more coming through phase 5, or I'm sorry, phase 3 was 5 properties. We closed on 4. We may be closing on the 5th. We've had some issues there with going back and forth with the homeowner and how responsive that they've been. So this is just for phase 4. These are the ones that we have not acquired yet.
And we're doing this rebid because the market changed. Is there, if the market changes again, do we have to rebid everything again, or do they come back?
I think that would depend on how drastically the market may change over what sort of time scale. But this is something where, we want to get these, get them to the county, and proceed, move right into the due diligence phase with it.
And these appraisals, are they are they Green Acres people appraising, or it's our people?
It's a private appraisal company. We solicited quotes through our project partner, the Land Conservancy, with 3 different firms. This company offered, the best price. They were offering sort of like a group rate discount, and they have to meet the state's standards in order to be accepted by the state. So they're done in conformance with those standards.
Just out of curiosity, is this the same firm from the first 3 phases?
No, different firm.
Any further discussion? All right, do I have a motion to approve 24-289, approve appraisals for buyout program?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We have 2 ordinance for introduction. We have 24 Code 950, Stormwater Control Ordinance. Mr. Coons, would you just kind of give us a brief overview of that again?
The stormwater, sure. So in 2021, you adopted comprehensive revisions to the stormwater control ordinance in order to comply with the DEP's model ordinance that they had set forth at that time. Last year, the state set forth the new permit rules for the statewide stormwater management permit. That permit requires additional updates to comply with a revised model ordinance. So this ordinance brings our code into compliance with those further revisions. A lot of the revisions are rather minor in nature. They're focusing on literally like website links for references, and how you actually do some of the stormwater management calculations, and incorporates some planning work that the state did in sort of forecasting out future storm intensities. So that's sort of the bulk of the changes that are addressed in these amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Coons. Obviously, we talked about this at length at the last meeting. Do I have a motion to introduce 24 Code 950 Stormwater Control Ordinance?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Not seeing any. Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have,
And you give the date for final.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. The final adoption and public hearing will be held October 22nd, 7 o'clock here at the council chambers meeting. Next council meeting. Okay. Now we have 24 Code 951, amend code for fire prevention fees for the outdoor market. Mr. Coons, care to give us a quick explanation?
Sure. This is really a way for us to support the success of the recently launched craft fair. They want to attract food vendors. The current permit fee structure for any needed fire prevention permits really doesn't account for the way that the craft fair is run, where you would want to have vendors come back week after week after week. Vendors require what's called a Type 1 permit that has a $100 charge to it, and they were finding, nobody really wanted to pay that on a weekly basis. So what we were able to do in terms of both meeting fire prevention requirements and being responsible to try to attract vendors was offer the permit for 10 consecutive weeks. So basically that includes an inspection. After 10 weeks, if the vendor wants to continue on with us, it would require another inspection and payment of another fee. But it would be good for 10 consecutive weeks rather than 1.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. In other words, this is a way to just keep promoting our outdoor craft fair, keep the vendors coming out, so we can keep growing that craft fair.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to introduce 24 Code 951, amend code for fire prevention fees?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion?
I just want to say thank you. The Arts Committee is working very hard on this craft fair, and anything that we could do to make it better helps. And thank you for such a speedy response.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Not seeing any? Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the public hearing and final adoption will be at the October 22nd council meeting in 2 weeks. All right, does anybody have, work session items? We got S2103, A471, fair share affordable housing obligations. Mr. Coons, want to walk us through that?
Sure. For state legislation, this one's actually pretty straightforward. As you know, we've been talking about the new fourth round of affordable housing obligations that came in response to legislation that was passed earlier this year by the state. And one of the actions you took tonight was to actually issue a contract to our planner to do a lot of work to address those fourth round obligations, including the new fair share plan, a vacant land analysis, spending plan, et cetera, as we get prepared for the release of the state numbers later this month. One of the issues in that legislation, and that resulted, at least in part, with a recent lawsuit filed by a number of towns, and you've probably seen the articles in the paper, had to do with the fact that there's about 62 towns that are called urban aid municipalities in the state that are exempt from any additional affordable housing obligations. So they take the regional need, so they come up with saying, okay, in the North region, there's X number of units of affordable housing, exempt the urban aid communities and parcel out that allocation amongst everybody else. This legislation would address what we see as some inequity there, where all towns should have some sort of share of affordable housing. Just because you're an urban aid municipality, that shouldn't mean that you don't have a future obligation the way suburban or rural communities do. And the law actually goes into some of the reasoning behind that from a planning perspective, and talks about smart growth and transportation options and the like. So what this law would do is basically amend the law that was passed earlier this year and make the urban aid municipalities subject to receiving a additional allocation as well. So that would provide additional housing options for the public, and it would also lessen the burden on everybody else a little bit. So for that reason, we wanted to bring that to your attention. The legislation was introduced by our Senator Holly Schepisi. You just need to let me know if you want to do a resolution at the next meeting to in support of it.
Any discussion from members of the governing body?
I think it makes pretty good sense. There's affordable housing requirements, all over the state. And if we're required to do it, the other towns should be required to do it. And it's from a planning point, from a planning perspective, it makes sense. You just want to plan accordingly. So I think it's a good idea. I think maybe we should have this resolution.
Anybody else?
I'm in agreement with Councilman Talman. Everyone should have a fair share of this.
Okay, I'm certainly in agreement with the governing body as well. Mr. Coons, would you prepare a resolution for next meeting?
Yep, we'll have it on for the 22nd.
Okay, very good. New business. Anybody have any new business? Not seeing any. Any old business? Not seeing any. Committee liaison reports. Councilman Saliani.
Sure, I will start. Well, since Kevin isn't here, I will take his little position in the library. I had an internet problem today, and I actually had to work from the library. I don't think our residents realize how great a place it is to actually do work, have meetings. I was able to conduct full meetings on a global basis tonight for about 8 hours. It's a phenomenal resource. So this is no library report. I figured I would give them their props, because quite honestly, I don't think our residents realize that if you work from home, it's a good way to get work done and hold meetings, especially for committees and organizations in town. DPW asked me to report a couple of quick things tonight. One, as the season is starting to turn, it's getting dark early. Please report streetlights that are out. As kids are still out and about. Call 201-337-8104 to report streetlights out, and they will make sure they work with Rockland Electric to get that repaired. In addition, leaves are falling from the trees. So for both the Flood Commission and DPW are asking that people bag their leaves responsible. Please don't blow leaves into water areas, streams, and also don't blow them on your neighbor's properties or the street. Bag them appropriately to make everyone's life easier. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Also, you might want to also mention the fact that you can also go through the website and fill out a report as well.
Absolutely.
And it's also an option to
It's
you.
always an option to do it on the website, correct?
Right.
Thank you.
Councilman Talmy.
Yes, so recreation, we have roller hockey and rec basketball signups are now in process. You could go on the website oaklandrec.org. And also, if you wish to call this coach this fall, now is the time to get certified. So if you go to oaklandrec.org, you can find out how to get certified. If you are not certified as a coach, you cannot be on any field, gym, or rink. So please make sure you get certified so you can coach the kids. And like I always say it's one of the best things I ever did, becoming a coach for rec. I'm not an athlete, never expected to coach anyone, and I enjoyed it so much. I think I enjoyed it more than my kids. But it's a great thing. You meet a lot of people in town. So please sign up to coach your kids. That's all I got.
Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor.
Turn your microphone on. Oh.
The OCC meeting, OCC did not meet this month yet. The OCC wants me to remind everybody of the sponsorship program. It is open and is asking for a show of support from residents, former residents, businesses, and nonprofits alike who want to support the mission and the work that the television committee, bulletin board committee, newsletter committee, etc. does. With the donations received, the various committees can purchase new equipment and software, expand programming opportunities, fund new and innovative ideas, and show appreciation to the hardworking volunteers who make it all possible. Sponsors will be recognized on the Oakland TV channel, before and after eligible original programming, on eligible original programming posted on YouTube, and will be listed on the rotating bulletin board on Oakland TV. To learn more, you can email occ@oakland-nj.org. The deadline is October 20th to express interest. And the next OCC meeting will be held October 23rd at 7:30 p.m. here in this room. Access for All met this month. They are getting busy for their trunk or treat activity on Saturday, October 26th. Their next meeting will be held Wednesday, November 6th at 7:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. Access for All is actively looking for volunteers. And just to comment, this past year, the committee took on a few new volunteers and from various different backgrounds, and artists and occupational therapists, and they're really coming together and doing new things, looking to do new things. It's a great group. So if you're interested in volunteering, just go to the Oakland's website and grab a volunteer interest form. Next, the Shade Tree Commission met yesterday. They too are looking for volunteers. They're a great committee. They go around town. They identify trees that are dead, that are in danger. They do lots of events during the year. They're a wonderful group. And just to remind everybody that when you get a permit and you promise to plant a tree, they are looking to enforce that. So please, take it seriously. We live in Oakland, plant a tree.
We are a tree community.
We are a tree community. It's in the name. Their next meeting will be held November 4th in Borough Hall, different location.
Mayor, I forgot to mention that the public events next meeting will be Tuesday, October 14th at the Senior Center. also they are the trunk or treat on Saturday, October 26th.
Thank you, Councilman.
Can I make two
Sure.
more notes? For my job, I often visit food pantries. I had to visit the Ponds Church food pantry this past week, and their shelves are kind of bare. So if anybody has food that they want to donate, please consider. I mean, I know everybody wants to donate to the Carolinas, and I totally get it, but right here in Oakland, there's a need. So, that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Councilwoman, bills to be paid.
Oh. Total bills to be paid, $492,046.87. So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Fredo?
Yes.
Council President Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the next Borough Council meeting will be held Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, at 7 p.m. here at the Borough of Oakland Municipal Court/Council Chambers at 10 Lawler Road, Oakland, New Jersey. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Meeting adjourned.